You know, for the longest time, Buick has really struggled to find its own identity in the American car market. And that's understandable because when you're rebranding Opels from Europe, well, what are you? But now we have this. This is the brand new Buick Enclave, and this is the top-of-the-line Avenir edition. And in this video, we're gonna do what we usually do, which is a walk around. I'm gonna go under the hood. We're gonna talk about styling. I'm gonna go sit in the front row, the second row, third row. Yes, I'm gonna sit in the third row, and then I'm gonna show you what's behind the third row. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna tell you how much it cost. So let's start with styling. There are 3 models in the Enclave lineup. There's the base, preferred, then it goes to the ST, and then of course you have this most luxurious top-of-the-line Avenir. And the way you can tell an Avenir from the lower trims is partially by this grille. You can see kind of the chrome with the black, and I think it looks very elegant. Dare I say, luxurious. I also like these pulled back headlights, which kind of give you a sense that the car is very aerodynamic. But let's look under the hood and talk about how much horsepower it has. Now, of course, this is one of the 3 GM triplets, and that means that it's basically the cousin to the Chevy Traverse and the GMC Acadia, and they're all powered by the same powertrain, which is here. And by the way, this is built in Michigan. So what we're looking at is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo, which puts out over 330 horsepower and is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now you can have it in either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, but that is a $2,000 option on any of the models. I guess if I were living here in Portland, where it doesn't snow all that much, I'd probably go for the 2-wheel drive because there are different drive modes, including touring, sport, and of course snow. And Buick says that snow mode does well with 2-wheel drive. In Colorado, probably all-wheel drive. Now, this top of the line does have the 22s, but the lower models get 19s. But I like 22s. I want more 22s. They're nice and big. All right, come on, let's go inside. Let me show you something. Are you stuck, Cole? Cole, my videographer, was stuck. There you go. Now, one of the great things about this is I love the white interior with this matching, it's really chocolate, isn't it? I was going to say brown, but this chocolate leather dashboard and steering wheel. It just looks very elegant. I kind of feel like brown has become the new white and white has become the new black in terms of luxury, which is great until you have kiddos that'll probably spill orange juice or grape juice all over the place. But hey, you know, that's up to you, not up to me. But I do love the color combination. So everything in here feels very expensive. Nothing I touch is plasticky. And look at that, they've got front and rear window actuators, unlike some other luxury cars I've recently been in, but that's a whole other story. Now, Buick will tell you one of the things that they're very proud of is this floating center section, so you could stuff things underneath, like take out perhaps your purse or your purse dog, even though I don't know if a purse dog would fit or would be very happy in there. And then let me boot it up and kind of show you this magic screen. Now, it isn't that long ago where screens kind of felt like they were iPads that were just tacked on to a car, but now you've got this very BMS-esque curved screen with a lot of information. And what GM does especially well, I think, is colors. You've got these dark navy blues that really pop. You've got reds. It just looks very good. We just bought a Land Rover Defender, and the screen's about this big, and the prominent colors seem to be gray, and black. But here, of course, you've got a lot of deep, rich colors, and you've got this as well. You've got traditional controls for your HVAC, which I really love. And in this Avenir edition, look at that. You've got both heated and cooled seats, a heated steering wheel, and Cole, show them this button over here, right? These aren't haptic. These are actually real buttons. How cool is that? And on this side, you've got something that GM is very proud of, and that is Super Cruise, which is autonomous driving. And when we had our Hummer EV, I was able to actually drive it on thousands of miles of mapped highways without actually touching the wheel. But that's for another review. So the other thing I like about the interior is this giant sunroof. Makes it feel less claustrophobic in the back. And then of course you've got wireless charging here. You have a giant, and I do mean giant, volume knob for the radio. And then this is something that you guys are probably going to love, both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And I'm sorry you can't see that. That's because my phone is not paired, but it does come with both, along with, of course, Sirius FM, navigation, and like I said, it's relatively straightforward. Obviously, phone, navigation, music, apps, and then the home button. Super easy to use, not very confusing. I also like the fact that it's got more of a traditional shifter. Of course, this would be very traditional, but a traditional shifter that they haven't reinvented it. A real stock for turn signals with your wiper controls here. Apparently a very good sound system. I'm not really good at reviewing sound systems, so I don't know, but this is a Bose system, and I like the textures in the speaker grill. And then over here, you've got your cables, and if you don't want to charge it wirelessly, we have USB-C, I'm sticking in the wrong one, and of course USB ports, so that you've got connectivity everywhere you go. All right, let's see what it looks like in the back, or at least the second row in this case. Now you may be wondering, what does this compete with? And of course this competes with 3-row cars like the Toyota Highlander or the Grand Highlander, the Palisade and Telluride twins from Kia and Hyundai. And those vehicles really set the bar in terms of interior quality and interior luxury. I remember when I first reviewed, I believe it was a Telluride, I just got done driving a BMW X5, and no, it was an X7 actually, and I was just as impressed with the interior of the Hyundai and the Kia, as I was with the BMW, and I kind of feel the same way about the Avenir version of this car. It just feels very expensive, and I do like the fact that I've got vents up here. I've got a third zone of climate controls with automatic cup holders. In these captain's chairs, I've got a very easy to bring down armrest, and I could spend a lot of time back here. Now, this isn't quite stadium seating where you're kind of sitting over the first row passengers or drivers, but nevertheless, it's very light, it's very airy back here, and it feels very luxurious. So let's get in the way back and see if I fit. And usually the answer at 6'2" is I don't, and I don't suspect that's going to be very different in this vehicle. So yeah, I mean, I've got these seats all the way back, but as you can tell, I don't have much leg room, but I do have plenty of headroom. I have more vents to keep me cool, but let's face it, this car is really in the best American tradition. I'll put this down, Cole. Oh, sorry. This car is really in the best American tradition, meant for front row family, second row maybe grandparents, and third row kids. And I think if you're a kiddo back here, will be fine. You do have more USB-C ports right there. You do have nice little windows, and you actually have cup holders. And it's really super easy to get in and out of this, which is, a hallmark of a third row that's been well engineered. One of the things that Buick will tell you is, and I've got this car running now so it won't work, but you remember back in the good old days when if you wanted to open this hatch and you had groceries, you kind of had to do the river dance, right? You had to kick underneath here. This car has something new, and that if it wasn't running, you'd walk up here, it would beep 3 times, and then it would open the tailgate. Unfortunately, it is running, so I won't do it now, but what I will do is I will do it the traditional way, and that is press the button twice and show you how much room is back here. Check it out. A good amount of room for things like roller bags, and then hiding underneath here, I've got my backpack, a pretty deep storage well. Now, one of the cool things this does, of course, is you can flip. Come on, Roman. There we go. Flip that row, and then, come on, keep going. And flip this row. And that should go all the way flat. Hold on, I'll show you. I will demonstrate, I can do that. There we go. Thank you, Cole. Look at that. Now that is a lot of room. I mean, if you were, let's say, a drummer for a band and you had a lot of kit to bring with you, there would be no issues whatsoever in getting all your stuff back here. And so, obviously, this is not suburban Tahoe, Yukon size, but nevertheless, if you do need something to haul a lot of people and you don't want a minivan, this may not be such a bad choice, because we know the stigma that the minivan brings. The other thing I like about this vehicle is they've kind of done what is very modern now. They've done this clear tail light across the entire back of the vehicle. In the Avenir, it's clear, make it a little bit more expensive, and I love these giant tailpipe openings on both sides. Now, at the beginning of this walk around, I said I would tell you how much this vehicle costs, and if you get the base model, the preferred, you're at about $45,000, and then if you get this top of the line Avenir, you're certainly knocking on the door of 60, if not more than that. And then, of course, the thing that you might be wondering is, has Buick kind of got its stride back? Have they figured out where they kind of belong in the hierarchy of American vehicles? And once upon a time, Buicks and Cadillacs were kind of the top end of luxury. If you couldn't afford a Cadillac, you'd get a Buick. In other words, the Cadillac might be the CEO, and the Buick might be your local doctor or dentist. And then the Germans came along and they redefined luxury in a much different way. And it wasn't all about space, and it wasn't about utility. It was about, can you go down the Autobahn at 120 miles an hour or 180 kilometers in comfort? But that's not America. Cole, if you spin the camera around over there, you'll see that this is America, right? What we're doing in America is we're in traffic, we're taking our kids to school, we're taking our family to church, out to dinner, and that has nothing to do with zipping down the Autobahn, but it has a lot to do with having enough space for the entire family, being able to bring all your toys, and then being able to tow. By the way, this does tow 5,000 pounds. I think with this car and the other two GM twins, we are back to what traditionally has been the American station wagon, but now redefined as the Buick for the family. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you, Buick, for flying me out here to lovely Portland to drive this car. There is a full driving review coming with driving impressions. Please stay tuned for that. And Cole, who is from Portland, thank you for filming this. And if you want to help support TFL, become one of our patrons. And don't forget to go to alltfl.com for more news, views, and real world reviews. See you guys next time. Ciao.